I don't know. I think I just nailed it. CJRB makes the Ozark Trail knives. Called it here first. Hello everyone and welcome to the table. So what we're checking out today, this is a knife from CJRB, and so this one they call the Acacia. And so this is a very nice budget oriented folder because this price point is coming in at around 30 bucks. But of course the build quality is excellent as well, very lightweight. A lot of good things going for this knife and not too many downsides really. So what we have right here is a crossbar action knife. So we have that Axis style lock, and our blade right here we can see is a very nice drop point with it. What I really like about this one is the stonewash finish. So we don't see a good stonewash all too often nowadays. Most companies are either opting to go satin finish or they just put like a black coating on. And so it's nice to see a company go, out of their way to put a good stonewash on a blade, and that's kind of nice. So with the Acacia here, we're getting that AR RPM 9 steel, which is a very nice, it's one of those, powder metallurgy type steels, but more on the budget end of things. So it's a proprietary steel, only CJRB, as far as I know, uses it. And it's great to see it on a $30 knife. So that's really cool to see a custom steel like that on a blade like this. But the knife overall feels great in hand. We have these FRN handles. And again, for $30, that's kind of what I expect here. We have a deep carry pocket clip with reversible action there, so you can put it left or right hand side, tip up carry, and it's your standard, loop over deep carry clip. No problems getting it in or out of pocket. Has good retention on it, and with the smoother scales, you're not going to have any issues with it. So I think that was well done. The actual action of the blade, we can see that it runs on bearings, so you can see how smoothly it flows. There's no grit in the action. As you're opening it or closing it, sometimes you can feel knives a little gritty in this section, and we're just really not getting that with this knife here. The centering is also excellent, which I fully expect for a knife that is running on the bearings. And all of our hardware is blacked out. So again, the pocket clip, the crossbar action, the pivot, the screws, everything is blacked out on this model. They have it in a few different colors as well, as well as with the coated blade also. But this is the version that they sent out to me. So in full disclosure, CJRB sent this to me. They asked a few months ago whether I wanted to check out a knife, and I said, sure. And this is what showed up in the mail. So very cool to see this in hand now. And so again, what's really nice about this is for this nice full-size knife, let's check out the weight. And it's not an overly heavy knife. I think it's even less than 3 ounces. So the Acacia is coming in, so 2.68 ounces. So very lightweight for what we're getting here. And let's go ahead and go over the dimensions of the knife, because in my opinion, it's, a full-size everyday carry knife. We can see holding it up to the ruler right here. Overall length is coming in pretty much spot on at 7.5 inches. And with our blade length right here, we can see the cutting edge is about 3 inches long. And from tip to scale, it's maybe like 3 3/8 inches. So, it's hand filling. There's no issues with that. But again, it's also really lightweight and easy to carry. And so what we have right here, again, these FRN scales, we can take a closer look at the patterning right there. So check that out. Actually, so while we're here, take a look at that pattern really closely. It's like a little Y-shaped pattern on this scale. I think I've seen that before somewhere, but before I do that, let me pull out my tin foil, put my hat on. Hold on. There we go. Now we're ready, because I've seen that pattern before somewhere right here. Check it out. You guys recognize this knife? You remember this knife? Check out the pattern on that scale. Are these knives related to each other? I don't know. I think I just nailed it. CJRB makes the Ozark Trail knives. Called it here first. All right, but either way, the FRN scales are, they feel smooth, but they do have a little bit of texture right there. And it's not all that different than what you get, say, like on the Benchmade Bugout. And so what we actually have here, we do have the full steel liners inside the scales right there. And so, you do get a little bit more weight with that, but what you also get is a little bit more rigidity. What's that word? Rigidity. They're a little bit stiffer. Honestly, there's less flex to them. There's still a little bit. You can see I can press really hard and they flex a little bit. But with the steel liners in there, you have a little more strength in the handle, and that's something a lot of knives are not doing. They do the full crossbar lock in here, but then they're going full plastic on the scales. So this one does have some rigidity to it, but it's still, I mean, 2.6 ounces, it's still really lightweight. So there's really no issues there. You know, the knife is really easy to flick open, very fun to fidget with as well, if that matters to you. But again, the number one comparison everyone's going to want to make with this knife is going to be the Benchmade Bugout. So I do have one of those on the table right here, and it's actually pretty impressive because side by side, they're pretty much identical in overall length. So in terms of, 7.5 inches overall, that's the same. But like I was mentioning, when we look inside the handles on the Bugout and some other knives like it, you can see this is all plastic right here. So when you press the Bugout together, you get a little bit more flex. It's good they put a standoff right here just for more strength, but like right there, you can flex it a little bit more. And that does maybe bother some people, but it's up to you to decide whether that's an important factor or not. But again, keep in mind the price. The Bugout here, it's a US made knife, so it's like $120 minimum, usually when you find it at retail. And we're looking at a $30 knife right here. So I think they compare really well for that price point. Look at that. Compare those blades, those stone washes right there. Compare that handle shape right there. Very much influence, obviously not a copy or anything, but I think that most people are going to compare any crossbar lock knife with the Benchmade Bugout. So I think that's kind of a natural for comparison's sake. So I'll just put that up there. But either way, this is a really good knife. And again, sending it out always comes out with the pouch, always comes with the cloth. So there's no surprise there. And I think at the $30 price point, there's a lot of competition out there, really wanting to get those dollars from you. And I think this is really a standout in that category. Number one, we have the nice lock action. It's on bearings. The blade steel is unique. Anything CJRB offers at that price point is pretty much going to be good to go because they are not some fly-by-night company. They have been here for a while. They're here to stay. So I don't think you would really have any concerns if you were to buy this knife. I mean, not to mention that this blade came absolutely razor sharp out of the package. There was no issues with the edge. So that's always an awesome plus as well. So just a lot of good things going on at the CJRB factory over there. So honestly, if you look at any CJRB at this price point, look at the one that I think visually appeals to you the most, and you're pretty much going to be in good shape. So I think that's really the only issue you need to have is which one you're going to buy. So now this is the blue FRN with the stonewash finish. Looks good to me. So hopefully you enjoyed watching this, but I wanted to make some fun comparisons and first impressions for you. So I hope you all have a nice day out there, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.